Welcome to DeepMind. In today's video, we dive into the world of personal finance with Tony Robbins, one of the most influential mentors in personal and financial development. You'll discover the truth behind 9 dangerous financial myths that major institutions don't want you to know, and you'll learn practical steps toward your own financial freedom. This video is more than a lesson about money. It's an invitation to personal power and responsibility. Large financial institutions exist to make a profit for themselves, not for their clients. Therefore, relying on their recommendations is not always profitable and often simply unsafe. 9 myths that Tony Robbins debunks are just about that. Tony's task is to introduce people to the most honest, practical financial solutions, some of which are still considered secret. Realizing that people need not only knowledge, but also a clear roadmap for a financially secure future, Robbins tried to present it in the form of simple 7 steps. The strategies and recommendations set out in the book are the result of unprecedented research and the author's access to the best minds in the world of money. Richard Branson, Warren Buffett, Charles Schwab, and this is only a small part of the big names. But Tony, with his enthusiasm, connections, and ability to persuade, managed to get from them unique information based on the knowledge and experience of the winners. Now, the secrets of professional investors are available to you. All that remains is to decide to take responsibility for your money. Step 1. Make a conscious decision to become an investor. Along with religion, sex, or politics, the topic of money is also taboo at the dining table and sometimes in the workplace. With money, people feel guilty, and in the absence of finances, they feel ashamed. In essence, money is power. We know that money can help a dream come true, and it can also start a war. But all this, by and large, is an illusion. In the end, we are not concerned about money itself, but about the emotions and feelings that money can provide us: influence, security, the opportunity to help those we love and those who are in trouble. The way you handle money reflects how you handle it with force. Is it a game or a load for you? Game is a strange word to apply to such a serious topic as money. But this book is about the fact that the best way to improve your finances is to find people who have already done it and then copy their model of behavior, that is, play. Numerous interviews with the richest people in the world prove that most of them treat money as a game. Otherwise, why should they continue to work 12 hours a day when there are already billions of dollars in their accounts? But this is a game in which you can't lose. However, if you follow the 7 simple steps described in this book, you will win in this game, and you will win big. To do this, you need to know the rules of the game and learn the best strategies. This book will give you the necessary knowledge. Why does an ordinary person need this knowledge? Let's look at it differently. Can you afford to remain a simple person? That's what the statistics say. Now, in the United States, 50% of spouses in married couples live to be 92 years old. That is, after retirement, a person lives about 30 more years. And there is no reason to expect that you will be able to finance your 30 years of pension at the expense of savings for 30 years of work. According to Ernst & Young, 75% of Americans will run out of assets before they die. At the same time, the U.S. Social Security system covers only basic needs and cannot provide you with a decent lifestyle. 48% of working Americans have never thought about how much money they will need for retirement. Step 2. Become an insider. Learn the rules of the game. According to David Svensson, author of Unprecedented Success, managing the $23.9 billion Yale University Endowment investment fund at the university, and one of the most successful institutional investors of our time, you must be guided by unprecedented wisdom to achieve unprecedented success. To do this, let's debunk 9 financial myths that can lead you in the wrong direction and reveal new rules of money that will make you financially independent. Myth 1. Lie about $13,000. Invest with us. We will outplay the market. Stock markets have been the best place to invest in the last 100 years. Usually this happens as follows. We transfer money to a 5-star, well-managed mutual fund in the hope that the fund will play the market. The truth is that 96% of such funds do not outplay the market. When they say to outplay the market, we mean an exchange index consisting of a set of shares. This is a list of 500 companies at market value in the United States selected by Standard & Poor's. We are talking about such companies as Apple, Exxon, Amazon. You may not get it right away. However, the more often you practice, the more serious results you will achieve. The point is that if you repeat all the conditions as accurately as possible, you will enter this state. And this is not magic, it is the laws of the human body. Part 2. The formula for absolute success. Take a piece of paper and a pen. Perform the following tasks. Task 1. Make a list of your desires, deeds that you want to do. The main thing. Firmly promise yourself that you will write for a certain period of time. Task 2. Outline a clear time frame when you intend to achieve this. It could be 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Task 3. Choose your 4 most important goals for this year. Not only choose them, but also answer, necessarily, why they are so important to you. Task 4. Check your goals against the rules of goal formulation. There are 5 rules to follow when formulating a goal. Be as specific as possible. Choose only positive wording. Keep everything under control. Develop a monitoring procedure. Make sure the outcome benefits not only you, but also others. Task 5. Make a list of the resources you already have at your disposal. These could be character traits, friends, financial resources, education, energy, time, family. Task 6. Think back to a time when you used any of these resources to the best advantage. This exercise is very important because it will help you induce a state of success. You have probably used your resources effectively many times. Task 7. Reflect on whether a person of your type could accomplish these goals. Be very honest with yourself. Maybe you lack discipline or education, some skill, motivation, or will negative character traits get in the way? It's important not only to make a list, but also to think about how to get around the obstacles. Think now, not later when you encounter a real obstacle. Task 8. Write down everything that is preventing you from achieving your goals. Partially, you have already answered this question. The main enemy of man is himself. But in addition to him, there is also the world around him. So what can get in your way? Part 3. Leadership is a challenge to excellence. If you want to be a leader, to lead people, you should start with your true values. What are they? Here's a short list. Understanding, love, respect, inner growth, joy, support, spiritual unity, beauty, creativity, new challenges, honesty, freedom. Add a few of your values and choose the 5 most important to you. Now put them in order of importance. Difficult? Probably yes, because people very rarely do this. Because values mean so much to a person, they have a huge emotional charge. But what's interesting is that values change over time, and that's perfectly normal. It's usually an indication that a person is growing as a person. If earlier his main values were beauty and money, now, say, creativity and new challenges. At least, because creativity and new challenges already include both beauty and money. As values change, long-term goals change and are divided into shorter goals. Intermediate goals provide constant feedback. Once you figure out what your true values are, then you will begin to sort out and reflect on them. This will allow you to identify other people's values. How will this help? You will be able to spot false values and influence the person in the most positive way. You will be valued and respected if you make people happy. Therefore, working with values is the first step to take. If we pursue false values, however, we cannot experience wholeness. The person who helps us become congruent will receive our love, trust, and admiration. But you must be prepared for the possibility that you may receive rejection. That's perfectly normal. People don't always do the right thing, especially not right away. Sometimes we are afraid to influence people for fear of hearing no. Leadership is out of the question in this case. So get used to getting rejected as often as possible to develop some neutrality towards rejection. You don't have to remain what you became by accident. You can become whoever you decide to be if you take control. Thought, emotion, and body are the three levers that transform destiny. Use the law of association. Change your internal syntax. Awaken the physiology of success. And most importantly, start. Not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. Because everything you need is already inside you. Sign up if you want to learn more transformation techniques and take the first step to becoming the best version of yourself. The so-called TDFs work on the following principle. Select the date, year in which you retire, and we will dispose of your investment portfolio accordingly. With each approaching year of pensions, the portfolio will become more and more conservative, preferring bonds that are considered less risky. It's simple. Decide on a date and forget about it. TDF's funds have their pros and cons. Everyone who plans to invest should learn the skill of income distribution or use the resource www.strongholdfinancial.com. Myth 7. I hate annuities, funds placed in a special fund with regularly paid dividends, and you should too. In fact, it all depends on what annuities you own and the rates of your insurance company. When the author interviewed experts on this topic, the name of David Biebel constantly surfaced as the main expert on the topic. His point of view was as follows. There are annuities that you should hate, but to exclude all annuities means to discriminate against a time-tested financial instrument. Caesar used this scheme. European states use the concept of annuity. In fact, this is a direct contract between you and the insurance company. You give them your money, and they promise you a guaranteed income or a refund. After you have deposited the money, you need to decide when you want to start earning income. The longer you wait, the higher your income. We offer to use the services of annuities experts on the resource www.lifetimeincome.com, where you will learn the pros and cons of your current annuities, determine the cost of services, and finally decide whether to keep your existing annuities or exchange them for others. Myth 8. You will have to take big risks to get a big return. The author's friend, Richard Branson, the owner of the Virgin Empire, founded Virgin Airways in 1984, intending to overtake his competitors, including British Airways. Despite such ambitions, he was most worried about how to avoid risks, and he managed to agree on the deal of the century. Branson bought his first planes on the condition that in case of unsuccessful implementation of the business project, he would return them back. However, in the investment market, you will always be told, explicitly or with a hint, that in order to win big, you must take big risks. That's not true. Millionaires like Richard Branson and Warren Buffett will tell you something else. Minimize risks and get big winnings. Below are 3 proven strategies. 1. Structured securities. Notes. You give money to the bank, usually the largest banks in the world. In return for money, the bank gives you papers, notes. At the end of the period, term, the bank guarantees you 100% of your deposit if the market went down, or a certain percentage of profit in the market plus your deposit if the market has risen. Second, certified deposits tied to the market-linked CDs market. This option is similar to the previous one, but also includes insurance from the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC. Third, annuity with fixed indices. This option gives you 100% protection from the insurance company and allows you to win when the market goes up and be protected when the market goes down. Myth 9. The lies we tell ourselves. It remains to deal with the last myth. We cannot achieve success due to the fact that not everything is in our power, but this is only the limitation of our perception. We all have a fear of failure, and we used to explain our failures with stories, and the cause of failures always lies beyond our control. But to achieve financial freedom, you need to make breakthrough. In order to make a breakthrough, you need 3 elements. You need to change the strategy, change your history, and change the state. Step 3. Decide what percentage of income you invest and where. A strategy that can make your dream come true. If you ask people how much money they need for financial freedom, they will start to name unrealistically large amounts, and their subconscious will begin to reject such a possibility. The more realistic the goals you set, the faster you will succeed. And remember, life is not about money, it's about emotions. The real goal is to have the lifestyle you want. The next thing you need to know is where to start your financial journey and how much money you will need to achieve your goal. After getting acquainted with the 5 options of the financial dream, you will choose 3 of them that particularly inspire you. Dream 1, financial security. This is the coverage of your basic expenses. Dream 2, financial liveliness, basic expenses, plus reasonable, pleasant expenses. Dream 3, financial independence. Now you don't have to work. Dream 4, financial freedom. You don't work and can afford luxury. Dream 5, absolute financial freedom. The concept speaks for itself. And now that you have chosen 3 options for yourself, wake up your desire and focus. As the next step, start acting actively and effectively. And finally, trust UDA, proven strategies, to yourself. At the same time, you should create a financial plan that you need. This is not a race or an Olympic Games. You should not focus on others. On the resource www.tonyrobbins.com/masterthegame, you will be asked to answer a few questions. Based on your answers, the application will make a plan that suits you. There are several strategies to realize your financial dream. Strategy 1, speed up. Save more and invest the difference. You can consider paying off the loan for the house faster, saving on bank interest, or not buying the most expensive car. David Baich, a friend and partner of the author of the book, held seminars for 4 million people around the world and published the book Automatic Millionaire, a powerful one-step plan for a rich life. The resource www.upromise.com will teach you how to save every day. And finally, do the following exercise. 1. Brainstorm your expenses. What expenses can you eliminate or reduce? 2. Estimate the amount and frequency of these costs. Rate these expenses on a scale of 0 to 10, how much you enjoy them. 4. Remember the question, what is the price of your financial freedom? Maybe you are ready to give up part of the current costs to achieve your goal. 5. Decide for yourself what is more important to you. Write down at least 3 items of expenditure that you are ready to refuse. Strategy 2. Earn more and invest the difference. When Tony Robbins was a child and lived in poverty, his mother dreamed that he would become a truck driver and get out of poverty. But living in Los Angeles and watching wealthy families next to him, Tony could not accept it and wanted more. As a teenager, Tony met a man named Jim Hanna, who changed his life. He told him about Jim Rohn's seminar, who later became Tony's first mentor. One of the valuable advice Tony received was, The only thing to do to earn more money is to become more valuable in the labor market. According to Warren Buffett, the most valuable investment he made in his life is an investment in himself. This is the best strategy for your financial freedom. Look for new trends and new opportunities, like Sarah Blakely, who owns the Spanx brand, which is now called among the 100 most influential people in the world. She was the first to find a niche for the production of compression underwear, and Sarah took it. Strategy 3. Reduce payments and taxes and invest the difference. The average American spends half of his income on various taxes. Study this issue, review your taxes, and optimize them. Strategy 4. Get a higher return on investment. We are talking about investing in high-yield investments. Since Tony grew up in Southern California, he was always attracted to investment in real estate, namely in the construction of prestigious nursing homes with quality care. Another way is to diversify the investment portfolio. Strategy 5. Accelerate. Change your life, your lifestyle, for the better. Why don't you think about such an option as moving to another city if it will allow you to save money? For example, you can move from San Francisco to San Diego while saving more than 30% on the cost of housing. Such a step will allow you to start the machine of economic freedom at an unprecedented speed. Tony Robbins also recently decided to change his place of residence for reasons of economy. When his taxes in Southern California reached 68%, he moved to Florida, where the tax regime is more democratic. If you are thinking about moving, pay attention to the resource www.money.usnew.com, where you will find out where you can live for only $75 a day. In some states, there is no income tax at all: Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. Step 4. Make the most. Step 4. Make the most important investment decision in life: a reliable portfolio of assets. Asset allocation is the most important decision of your life. There are 3 tools that lower risks and increase profitability. 1. Selection of reliable stocks. 2. Time suitable for investment. 3. Diversification of assets. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. This principle will be useful when you make a decision about investing. There are 8 types of investment options. 1. Cash. 2. Bonds, corporate, municipal, etc. 3. Certificates of deposit, CDs. 4. Real estate. 5. Pension. 6. Annuity. 7. Life insurance. 8. Structured securities. If you think you can predict the market, you are wrong. According to Benjamin Graham, the guru of modern investments, in addition to diversifying your portfolio, you should diversify your investments over time. If you create an investment schedule over time, you will increase the chances of a high return on investment. When making this decision, you must consider at least 3 factors: the stage of life you're at. Depending on how much time you have to realize your financial dream, as well as to make possible mistakes in the field of investment, you can make a decision. Your psychological tolerance to risks. This is a very individual position, depending on your temperament, life experience, etc. Take into account your tolerance when placing assets, your available liquidity. If you earn a lot, you can afford more potential wrong moves than those who barely make ends meet, although, of course, no one likes to lose. When these positions are taken into account, market volatility over time will become your friend. Step 5. Only pros, no cons. Create a lifetime income plan. Ray Dalio was most impressed by the statement of the U.S. president in 1971 that the dollar is no longer tied to the value of gold. Now the market determined the value of the dollar. Since then, Ray is always ready for surprises. When placing investments, he investigated all kinds of factors and revealed all kinds of unknowns. In 1991, he launched his product, investment portfolio, Alpha Strategy, which now has $80 billion and brings 21% of income. His other strategy, For Any Weather, became available in 1996. In his opinion, only 4 factors affect the value of assets. 1. Inflation. 2. Deflation. 3. Economic growth. 4. The fall of the economy. Taking this into account, he developed his new version of the investment portfolio for all seasons. In recent years, we have experienced significant changes in the economy, crises, and this has repeatedly led to the fact that investment decisions were not thoughtful but emotional. The strategy, For All Seasons, protects not only from the environment but also from ourselves. Stronghold, www.strongholdfinancial.com, uses this strategy for its customers. On www.economicprinciples.org, you will get acquainted with Ray Dalio's video explaining the origins of this approach. In early 2014, information about the purchase of life insurance worth $201 million appeared in the Guinness Book of Records. Such expensive insurances are bought not only by millionaires, but also by large corporations such as Walmart and Wells Fargo. The point is that this is how they avoid taxes, since the capitalization of investments is not taxed. PPLI insurance, private life insurance, works similarly. This insurance is used by doctors, lawyers, business owners, etc. Its advantages are as follows: unlimited amount of deposits, without income limit, no taxes on investment growth, no taxes on access to investments in case of correct structurinal. On the resource www.tiaa-cref.org/public, you can get information about this insurance and buy it yourself. Another option to protect your family is Living Trust, a legal document that fixes your will regarding your assets during your lifetime, similar to a will. Unlike a will, with the help of a trust, you can protect your family while you are alive. Get acquainted with the following resources: www.getyourshittogether.org, www.legalzoom/livingtrust/livingtrusts overview.html. Step 6. Learn from professional investors. The people listed below shared with Tony their secrets, which became the basis of the book. But the opportunity to learn from them and other professional investors remains beyond it. Read and listen thoughtfully to everything they share in speeches and in articles. Carl Icahn. When Carl Icahn said in 2013 that Apple was undervalued and that he was going to buy its shares, Apple shares jumped by 19 points. 4 months later, Times Magazine placed Icahns' photo on the cover and called him the ruler of the universe. In recent decades, Carl Icahn has earned more than Warren Buffett. This is a person who not only looks for business opportunities, but also creates them himself. Carl comes from a simple New York family. His mother is a teacher. His father is a failed singer. He himself played poker to earn money to study at Princeton University. David Svensson. David Svensson is perhaps the most famous investor you've never heard of. In essence, Svensson is an inventor and innovator. His Yale model, known as the endowment fund model, was developed together with his colleague and former student Dean Takahashi. The idea is to divide the portfolio into 5 to 6 equal parts and invest them in different asset classes. Before Yale, Svensson worked on Wall Street at Salomon Brothers and participated in a deal between IBM and World's Bank. John Jack Bogle. John is the creator of Index Fund, founder and former CEO of Vanguard Group. Fortune magazine named Bogle one of the 4 investment giants of the 20th century. He is compared to Benjamin Franklin for his ingenuity and civic spirit. Vanguard is the largest company in the world managing a mutual fund with assets of $2.86 trillion. Jack was born in 1929 on the eve of the Great Depression. To do this, you need to know the rules of the game and learn the best strategies. This book will give you the necessary knowledge. First, find a way to do something better for people than others do. Become irreplaceable. Do more, give more, provide better services. And you will have the opportunity to earn more, and it does not matter whether you provide fast food services in Texas or are the founder of Instagram. However, you should be able not only to earn more, but also to multiply what you have. And for this, you need to move from the consumer of the economy to the owner of the economy. And you can do it by becoming an investor. From several options of a financial dream, everyone can choose the one that particularly inspires him. There are 5 proven strategies to make a financial dream come true. Strategy 1, save more and invest the difference. Strategy 2, earn more and invest the difference. Strategy 3, reduce payments and taxes and invest the difference. Strategy 4, get a greater return on investment and accelerate your path to victory. Strategy 5, change your life, your lifestyle for the better. The implementation of the strategy requires knowledge of instruments such as the choice of investment options, including cash, bonds, certificates of deposit, real estate, pension, annuity, life insurance, and securities. The secret of the correct distribution of assets lies in their maximum diversification, the choice of reliable stocks, and time for investment. The world of investment decisions is shrouded in myths and legends. Such myths as a small cost for the services of large investment funds, the need to take big risks in the expectation of large dividends can be confusing. But knowing how things really are, you can always make the right decision. Once again, make sure you remember the 7 steps to financial freedom. 1. Decide to become an investor. 2. Find out the rules of the game. 3. Decide what percentage of income you invest and where. 5. Create a reliable portfolio. 5. Create a lifetime income plan. 7. Learn from professional investors. 7. Just do it. If this video opened your eyes or gave you something to think about, don't keep it to yourself. Like, subscribe, and join us on DeepMind, where real change begins with a single thought. Your future is shaped by what you do now. Make it count.